This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in my last class, what we were discussing. So we were discussing how to create a custom host name for the server, right? Isn't it? And how we can log in using the host name. So that is what we discussed, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
so that is the reason. See, I cannot remember IP address, so I can usually log into root at the rate. Sorry, and SSH you need to use. Okay, clear? So this is what we discussed, and we also discussed how to find the files as per the size using the find command. So today we are going to discuss further. Okay, so we will try to now see how many disks are there in our system. Okay, so usually in organization there will be like two more than 3 or maybe 15 disks. Okay, depending upon the concept. So today I am going to show you how you can add an additional disk to the system. And first, before that, I will show you how to see what are the disks attached to this operating system. So the command is lsblk. So this is the command to check the, so this means list block devices. So as you can see here, we have only one disk, which is of 8 GB. What is the size? Which is of 8 GB, and this 8 GB, it is being partitioned like this. Okay, it is partitioned as a this, so that is why it is showing as a tree format. Okay, it is showing as a tree format. So this means it has been partitioned and it is used by the root. So the mount point is root. So this is the root. / is known as a root. Okay, now how to add additional disk. Okay, in organization there will be a separate team like storage team, so they are going to add the disk, but we don't have that, right? So how will we add? So go back to the virtual box, go to the right click and settings, or you can go the settings from here, and there is a storage also. Okay, so there is a what? There is a storage. Okay, so this is our RHEL 7.9 storage, and this is a live CD. So we anyhow we are not using that. Okay, so this is control. Why it is showing? Because from this storage device our virtual machine got installed, and this is the additional disk. But as you can see, this is the virtual disk image. That is means it is where the virtual box is storing this information as VDI. But as you can see, this add controller or remove controller, add attachment or something, this is no available. The reason is when your server is in online, you cannot attach the disk. But usually in cloud computing, it is not the case. You can add if the server is on or off. Either way you can add. But in our case, as we don't have that option, let me power off the server. So it will be powered off, and let's see. So now the moment I powered off, right? So as you can see, there is a add controller. Okay, so click on the controller. Now what you want to add here? So you want to add a SCSI disk. Okay, you can add a NVMe. These are advanced type of disks. But for our practice, so we are going to add the LSI logic disk. Okay, so this is the way you can add. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one more time, or you can add another thing. So so don't go with this one because it is like a domain control, there will storage control or something like that. Go with this option. The 1, 2, the third option, you go add the attachment and click on hard disk. So this is important. Okay, and here you have to select the new one. Okay, so it is asking for the new one. If you have already created, you can select like this, but you have to create. Okay, so you have to create. So click on, you can select any of the things and click on next and pre-allocate full size and select the size now. For my practice, I'm not going to select, I'm going to select only say 1 GB is enough. Okay, or 2 GB. 2 GB is enough. And I'm going to say finish. So as you can see, it is, this one is our root partition. And this is the RHEL 7.91. So this is the additional disk we are trying to add now. Okay, if you expand, you will get the information. Okay, so now you can choose. So now you have added the disk. See, so now to the controller you have added the 2 disks. This was already there from the beginning and this was, now we have added, and press OK. And now you will start the machine. See, this is a virtual machine. That is the reason we are having some limitation. You cannot do it. So now let it switch. So we don't need to log in here. Let it complete. We are going to log in from the these things. So we'll wait for some time until it comes up. So why we are getting connection refused? Because the server is not yet up. Now we are getting the response. So Red Hat. Okay. Clear? Now if you see DFFNH, there is only one disk. Why? Because there is only one disk which is partitioned, but we have added 2 disks. Let me show you. So LSBLK. Now this is the SDB. You're getting it? Rakshit, Nageshwari.
Yes, sir.
See, if
Yes,
you
sir.
see the earlier output, there was only this one. See, but when you see this output now there is SDB, SDA, SDB. So this is how you add the disk. Okay, this is how you add the disk to the existing operating system. This is the additional disk. Okay, now this is a blank disk. You have not partitioned it. So how to partition it? So the command to partition is fdisk. Okay, and you have to give the full name /dev/sdb and enter. Please note this command, guys. Fdisk is the command to partition the disk into file system so that you can use it. Please note this point. Okay, you just need to remember this command. The rest everything you can press M for help, it will show you. So now what it is saying, N to add a new partition. Yes, we are going to add a new partition, and then you have to list the known partition types. Yes, we can add we are going to add the new partition types, right? And you can add a print the partition table. So let us print what is the partition table we are having now, because now there is nothing, because it is a blank. We have not configured anything, right? So first let us create a partition by pressing N to create a partition. Okay, I will explain what is the primary and extended little later, but for now you can select primary and hit enter and press enter, default, enter, enter, and that's okay. You have just created, you have not saved, so you need to press W to write table to disk and exit. So now try to print. Now it is saying some information. Boss, I have partitioned disk dev slash SDB as a SDB1, and I'm using the full as a Linux table. Yes, if you're okay with this, write the change. Okay, but will it show? Let us try. LSBLK, yes, now it is showing as a tree format. Earlier it was not showing. See here, observe. So earlier it was not showing. Now after the creation, it is showing as SDB1, which is a partition it has created. Getting the point? Now this you can use it, but how to use it? You need, see, you have created a partition, but you need something like this, right? In the C, you need something as a mount to, in order to open this. So you need to create a mount point. So how to create the mount point? So mkdir, first create one directory called application or anything. You can name it as mount also. Mount dash app. Okay, isn't it? And you can mount the mount. What is the command? Slash dev SDB1 to app. Okay, so now let us see. It is not yet mounted. Why? Because it is not yet having any. You have created a partition, but whether you have created any file system, no. So you have to create a file system. That is what I purposefully made this mistake. So mkfs.ext4 and dash dev sdb1. You're getting it? So this is the meaning of make file system. Now you have to mention file system as t ext4 and then enter. So now it will be mounted. See, just a minute.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so as I was saying, this is basically, these are the commands you can use, and this is how you mount the disk. Okay, clear? Now this is the way you should work in your organization, and this is the assignment for you. You have to create a 2 GB disk from the VirtualBox and attach to the operating system. And one more thing I want to show you. Now I can say, now once again I will reboot the system. Okay, now just wait and see what will happen. I will show you what is going to happen. Just let it boot and come up. Okay, so it is still booting. So Okay, so our server is up. So let me log in. Now I'm going to check whether the disk. So as I can see, no, there is only one disk. Where is the other disk? What is happening here? Can anyone tell me why I can't see the disk? Even though if I run lsblk, that is there, but it is not mounted. Why? Because the command which I used, right? This is like a temporary. Please note this point. This is a temporary, or I'll write it here. So this is a temporary mount. Okay, temporary mounting. If you have to mount it temporary, you have to use this command, which is mount, then the partition name which you have created, or type of the file system, and the mount app. So this will be there until your server reboots. So what will you do if you want it to persist even across multiple reboots? So you have to make an entry. So why Linux is powerful? Because everything is a file here. So there is one configuration file called etc fstab. So you need to make an entry here. Okay. So go to the bottom and you have to give the disk name, or you have to, okay, now how to get the UID number? You can name like disk name also you can give like this, or if you want the USBLK ID you can give like this, lsblk-f. So you'll get the UUID. So you can take this UUID. Please remember this command, guys. I will ask you tomorrow or Monday. Okay, so you'll get the UUID of this disk and you have to open the /etc fs tab, and there will already be fields. I will explain each field. Okay, now copy paste the, wait a minute, why it got copied here? I just need to copy this. Okay, so now open Shift G. Okay, okay, now copy paste the UID. Okay, so write UUID equal to, clear? Okay, UUID equal to, then where you want to mount, which directory you created. So mount underscore app. You're getting the point. You have to, and you have to leave out at least one space here. Okay, then what is the file? You can, in order to make it in order, just type ext4 and mention defaults. Defaults means it's a permission. Defaults means it will give all the permission. Okay, next you have to give as 1 and 1. Okay, so 1 means it has to check for the file system consistency across every reboot. Okay, so these are the things, clear? Now once you have done this, press escape, shift : WQ to save it, and now still it is not coming. Why? You have to run that file, no? So you have to run mount-va. So now you are getting the output successfully mounted. Now you can see that. So this mount-va will try to mount the whatever you have mentioned in the /etc fs tab. You're getting the point? Okay, if you want to see lot of information, you can read about /etc fs tab here. Okay, see second field, third field is fs type, fourth field is so fifth field. So fourth field is a mount option. Like you want to allow user to mount only read write with SUID, execute no user. So like that you can mention. And fifth field is dump option. Okay. If the fifth field is not present, a value of 0 is written and dump will assume that the file system does not need to be dumped. Meaning it is considered for the kernel dump all those issues. And this is for the FSCK last field. If it is set to 1, then every it will be checked. So file system within a drive will be checked sequentially, but file system on different drives will be checked at the same time. Okay, so it is a file system check. Okay, so the fifth field is dump. Okay, let me explain here once again. So this is the disk name or a UID. This is the mount point, and this is the file system third field. This is the permission, like with what all permission you want to mount, and this is the dump, and this is the FSCK. Okay, if you want to read, you can read with the man pages. You'll get lot of information there, and these commands should be at your fingertips. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to give this command today, so you have to practice. Otherwise, you will forget. So don't miss to practice this, because these are very important commands. So I'm going to start with 132 and start the recording.